Next segment, warfare, the illusion. War plays an important part in both the Bible and the Book of Mormon. Old World archaeology has found remnants of battles at certain cities, where vast numbers of arrowheads have been found. In contrast, the New World does not have similar evidence. The narrator tells us the footnotes in the Book of Mormon suggest that the Lamanite extermination of the Nephites took place around 400 AD. Yet, it left no archaeological evidence. By contrast, by a much smaller battle that happened centuries earlier in the 1st century AD in Palestine demonstrates what one can expect to find if a battle like the one described in the Book of Mormon had really occurred. The unmasking. When one is looking for the evidence of a battle, it is essential to dig at the location where the battle took place. A known historical siege took place at Masada, the 1st century site mentioned in the film. Digging at that location is digging at a battle site. What about the Book of Mormon battles? Most of the Book of Mormon battles take place on open fields, not in cities. Since the archaeological excavations concentrate on the cities, it is not very surprising that the remnants of large battles are not found there, where they did not happen. That doesn't mean, however, that the battles did not happen. The Aztec fought tremendous battles, but archaeologists have not yet located great battlefields littered with bodies or artifacts. Yet the Aztecs are much later than the Book of Mormon. Once again, the authors of the film use a general problem from all of Mesoamerica and presume that it has specific meaning for the Book of Mormon. The lack of remnants of a battle for the Nephites no more means that there were no Nephites than the lack of evidence for Aztec battles means that there were no Aztecs. This argument is another demonstration that the film's experts are not expert in the issues of Mesoamerican archaeology. The Cumorah illusion. The film attempts to make it appear that Latter-day Saints are afraid to do archaeological excavations at the New York Hill Cumorah because they know that they will not find the evidence of battles there. Murphy attempts to strengthen this problem. Growing up Mormon, I was always taught that the Hill Cumorah was the location of the culminating events of the Book of Mormon, the unmasking of this illusion. I do not doubt that Murphy might have been taught at some age by someone that the Hill Cumorah was the hill of the Book of Mormon. I was taught the same thing. However, since at least the 1950s, Latter-day Saint scholarship on the Book of Mormon has argued that the text Cumorah is in Mesoamerica. The New York Hill is merely a namesake. Why do we not find evidence of final battles at the New York Hill? Because those battles happened thousands of miles away. It's not surprising to find nothing when you look for something in the wrong place. That's quite obvious. Okay, next segment, temples. The illusion about temples. The film suggests that the Book of Mormon's mention of a Nephite temple in 2 Nephi 5:16 contradicts Jewish law. Their expert is Rabbi Chaim Richman, director of the Temple Institute in Jerusalem. Any person who studies the Bible understands the centrality of worship here in Jerusalem on the Temple Mount. The very idea of a temple anywhere other than Mount Moriah is a total impossibility. The Jews are literally not allowed to erect a temple anywhere in the world except for right here, unmasking this illusion. Rabbi Richman is certainly earnest in his opinion. His opinion, however, does not reflect historical reality. Dover discusses a temple that has been excavated at Arad, not far east of Beersheba. This temple existed in the 9th to 8th century BC. One of the Ostraza potsherds with writing from the site bears the inscription House Temple of Yahweh. The discovery of the Elephantine documents shows a group of Israelites leaving Israel and moving to a home on the Nile, where they built a replica of Solomon's temple. Richman knows his modern traditions better than his archaeology. The evidence of archaeology in the Old World tells us that when Nephi built a replica of Solomon's temple, he was simply doing what others had done and would yet do. Next segment is priesthood. The priesthood illusion. The narrator attempts to create yet another issue for the Book of Mormon temples when he asserts that the Book of Mormon claim poses a problem because appointing priests who are not Aaronic Levites was expressly forbidden in the Old Testament. Unmasking this. The scholars do not know if the temples at Elephantine and Arad were staffed by descendants of Aaron, but recent research indicates that there were important temple officials who were not descendants of Aaron. Margaret Barker, a biblical scholar, notes that an important distinction between the Melchizedek and Aaronic priesthood was in the nature of its transmission. The Melchizedek priesthood had no priestly descent, Hebrews 7, while the Aaronic priesthood was characterized by lineage descent. Barker argues that early evidence suggests that a Melchizedek priesthood presence in the temple prior to the Aaronic presence. She notes that the Yeb texts, which describe a community who worshipped the Lord in southern Egypt in the 5th century BCE, often mentions priests, but never mention the familiar biblical names of Aaron or Levi. The surface picture of Aaronite high priest in the Old Testament, therefore, must be treated with caution. Barker's citation of the Yeb text places a possible reference to non-Aaronic priests in the temple closer to the time of Nephi, contrary to the assumptions advanced by the narrator. The evidence suggests Nephite temple worship contained no surprises. In fact, it represents an older form of Israelite worship, precisely what the text should do.